Hey, this is Mike Slater in San Diego, filling in for the great Bill O'Reilly. It's Thursday, September 1st. What? 2022. You're listening to the O'Reilly Update, and here's what's happening today in America. Joe Biden ready to deliver a prime-time address. A new survey ranks the least popular politicians in America. A majority of workers regret quitting their job during the pandemic. And public health officials rank the dirtiest cities in the nation. Also coming up, the message of the day. But first, President Biden scheduled to deliver a prime-time address tonight from Philadelphia. The commander-in-chief will reportedly warn the nation of the dangers posed by so-called MAGA Republicans. Ooh. The White House says, quote, he will talk about the progress we have made as a nation to protect our democracy, but how our rights and freedoms are still under attack. By who? How? And he will make clear who is fighting for those rights. Wow, that is ridiculous. Can't wait to hear it. A poll from NBC News reveals the least popular politicians in the USA. The figures are ranked by their positive and negative approval ratings. The bottom five starts with Joe Biden, followed by Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, Mike Pence. So the last two presidents and vice presidents. The most unlikable politician, Joe Manchin. 40% of Democrats hold an unfavorable view of the senator from West Virginia. That figure falls to 31% for Republicans, 30% for independents. No one likes the guy. Most Americans who quit their job during the pandemic regret the decision. 7 in 10 employees who left positions are having trouble rejoining the workforce. 24 million full-time jobs were slashed when COVID closed the economy in April 2020. Since then, another 23 million Americans have voluntarily quit. Economists blame the slow recovery on generous government benefits like rental assistance and unemployment insurance. Unbelievable. A new report from the Miami Herald ranking the dirtiest cities in America. The towns are judged by pollution, living conditions, infrastructure, and resident satisfaction. Worst offenders this summer: Chicago, Phoenix, Las Vegas, New York, Oklahoma City, San Francisco, LA, and Houston. The dirtiest city in the U.S., Newark, New Jersey. The message of the day: California loves banning things, from plastic bags to plastic straws. What is California going to ban now? We'll tell you next.
Inflation at its highest level in 40 years and interest rates are skyrocketing, as you know. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, predicting recession. So to protect your future, do what I did. Call the only precious metal dealers I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. You can get started with a short phone call. They will place physical gold and silver right at your door or inside your IRA or 401k. They are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Don't wait. You can call them now. 877-444-GOLD. 877-444-GOLD. Or text GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532.
Hey, Mike Slater filling in for Bill O'Reilly. Now it's time for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. When I lived in Tennessee, we would always look to California as a crystal ball of crazy. A look into the future of what's coming nationwide. Almost always, unfortunately. And now with Gavin Newsom, the governor here in California, running for president probably in 2024, the California nightmare is coming for you too. And a terrible bill has passed through Sacramento. The governor yet to sign, but he probably will. It says that if you are a doctor or a medical professional and you spread COVID misinformation, you can lose your medical license. What is misinformation? According to the bill, it is false information that is contradicted by contemporary scientific consensus, contrary to the standard of care. Okay, great. Who decides what the consensus is? Who's the person who declares, this is the consensus? on this topic. Now, for now, the bill is just about COVID, but they'll pass another bill next year making it about anything. Right? Abortion, for instance. Pro-life centers, you are spreading misinformation. You're going to lose your medical license. There's a famous clip of Fauci a couple years back saying that if you got the flu, then there's no need for you to get a flu shot. Getting the flu is the best vaccine you could have. That was the scientific consensus about viruses and vaccines, but apparently not anymore. So who decided that that's no longer the consensus? There was a scientific consensus that opioids are safe and not addictive at all. That was wrong. So when someone declares there to be consensus, will there be any accountability to the consensus declarers when they turn out to be wrong? Here's the deal with no is the answer. There won't ever be. Here's the deal with the science. I'll quote Carl Sagan. He says, science is more than a body of knowledge. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of skeptically interrogating the universe with a fine understanding of human fallibility. People today, though, politicians especially, they talk about the science. The science is not a collection of facts. That's not science. Science is a process. It's a process of asking questions. It's a process of challenging the consensus and always being skeptical of authority. As the great Michael Crichton said, consensus is only invoked in situations where the science is not solid enough. Nobody says the consensus of scientists agree that E equals MC squared. Nobody says that the consensus is that the sun is 93 million miles away. It would never occur to anyone to speak that way. My favorite consensus story is in the 1850s. There were a ton of women who were dying from a fever right after childbirth. And there was one doctor, Dr. Schemmelweis, who said, hey, I think it's because we're not washing our hands after we go and touch the cadavers and then come and deliver babies. And the consensus said, you're crazy. And how dare you insult doctors by saying we are hurting our patients? And they kicked him out of the profession and he was driven mad and he died in an insane asylum. And of course he was right. You should wash your hands. But the consensus said no. There was a consensus of scientists in the 60s who said that nuclear winter would destroy mankind. But as one scientist later said, oh, the science is terrible, but the psychology is good. Yeah, that's not science. Science is the process of questioning everything all the time. The real scientific mind not only doesn't follow the consensus, but is constantly challenging the consensus. That's a truly scientific mind. But in California, that may soon be illegal. Sheep only. More coming up.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-925-7584 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-925-7584. That's 800-925-7584. What do you have to lose? Call 800-925-7584. Again, 800-925-7584.
Mike Slater filling in for Bill O'Reilly. Now it's time for something you might not know. If California were its own country, then we would be the 5th largest economy in the world. Keep that in mind as I tell you this story. It's currently hot in Southern California. It'll get to 100 in certain places. You know, like most parts of the country in the summer, we're a first world country, but we have a third world infrastructure. Because it's hot, people will use their air conditioning, and we don't have enough electricity for everyone. So they're asking people to conserve electricity. They call it a flex alert here in California. And if we don't conserve electricity today and this week, then they just turn the lights out and you get nothing. Rolling blackouts. So people of California, don't run any appliances, close the blinds, don't take hot showers, don't watch TV, play board games instead. If you don't, we're going to turn off your power. One suggestion that the authorities are making, I'm not kidding here, is to make sure your VCRs are unplugged. VCRs? Was it 1987? That was literally the advice they gave yesterday, to unplug your VCRs. If the electric grid of California is so duct taped together that the 12 remaining VCRs in the state are the deal breaker here, then we're in big trouble. My favorite, though, is they're telling you to not plug in your electric cars. But this week, California passed a rule saying that all new cars by 2035 have to be electric cars. It's only 12 years away. So imagine everyone in California has an electric car, but then it gets hot out and you're not allowed to plug it in. You're stuck. That's our future here. And I'm sharing this with you because this could be your future too, if you keep following the California way. And far from increasing the amount of electricity we're making, we're shutting down nuclear power plants here. And we're going to rely more and more on unreliable sources of energy. So they're going to force you to buy an electric car and then make it impossible for you to charge it up. But it's all better for the planet, don't you know? Never forget, the environmentalist leaders, they believe humans are a parasite to the planet. The Sierra Club is against hydropower, nuclear. They're against wind and solar because it destroys the landscape. They don't want any electricity because Mother Earth is greater than all human needs. Stop following these people and their policies. Demand electricity, for the love of Pete. And everyone outside of California, don't let anyone come in and make your state more like California. California progressives are the real virus infecting this country. More coming up.
This advertisement is paid for by Lacuna Ventures LLC. For terms and conditions, visit yourrights.legal. Attention! If you or someone you know spent time at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina prior to 1988 and developed serious health conditions such as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, lung cancer, bladder, breast, or kidney cancer, you may be eligible for significant financial compensation. Call Camp Lejeune victims to discuss your case now at 800-706-9790. Leaking underground tanks contaminated the drinking water with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals, up to 280 times acceptable levels. Marines, their families, contractors, or employees who spent at least 30 days at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune prior to 1988 and developed a serious health condition. Call to determine your eligibility for financial compensation. If you don't win, you pay nothing. It's critical to take action and call now. 800-706-9790. That's 800-706-9790. Again, 800-706-9790.
Thank you, Bill, for letting me fill in. Thank you for listening. MikeSlater.locals.com, and we'll see you tomorrow.